Welcome to the Astute Prosperity Podcast with your host, John Way. Join us as we interview successful business owners and professionals, uncovering the strategies that fuel their personal, professional, and financial success. Discover what it takes to thrive.
All right. Welcome to the Astute Prosperity Podcast. My name is John Way, the host of the podcast. Today, we have the pleasure to have Caroline join us today. Part of the podcast is really to learn more about real estate investors and their journey, and really see their journey and their path, and see what are some of the learnings that we can take from what they have done for themselves, and then towards the end of the call, Carolina, will be asking you for maybe a book recommendation that you would recommend for our audience.
Sure.
All right. So with that said, we'd love to learn more about you and your real estate journey.
Yeah. So I would say that aside from buying a home to use, which my husband and I did, in our early 30s, we really didn't start investing in earnest till our early 40s. And that really came about because at the time I was running my own business. It's a executive coaching, HR consulting business. I still have that business, and it's a time for money business. It's professional services. And so you're billing your time. And I was having a really tough time growing past a certain point. I was really, really busy. And so I thought to myself, well, what's the logical thing from here? And it actually wasn't real estate in my mind, because I am not an architect or an engineer or a designer or anything like that. I have an interest in real estate, but I didn't really consider it. My husband had a traditional corporate job, wasn't really looking at our investments. That was more my thing. And so when I started thinking about scaling our income, I thought about my business and productizing my business, and which is, you'll read a lot about that, turn your professional services into products, blah, 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 blah. And I hated doing it. I do some of it. I created some courses. I do have a book, and that brings me, royalties. It's definitely worth doing, but it is a very different business than the professional services business. So it was it was e-commerce, it was digital marketing, it was content creation and influencing. And that just wasn't what I was interested in. So I found myself kind of hating on my business. And at the same time, we had bought a property that we used ourselves. We had bought a couple of properties to shore up our retirement, but we were pretty much your traditional paper investing people. And I can't remember honestly what got me thinking, wait a minute, I don't have to productize my business. I can do passive income through real estate. But it seems really obvious now as I tell this. It's so obvious that I can't even remember why this was a thing for me, but it was. I really was stuck on, I should be doing the things that I know how to do. I'm not a real estate investor by training or by family background or by this or by that. And so it just didn't seem like a possibility. But once I just got over that hump and started telling myself a different story, why not us? It just grew from there. Yeah,
that's awesome. Wait, so whatever triggered it, right? So from the single family home that you live in, to today, what is that? What does that path look like?
We have 9 doors. We have properties in Florida, North Carolina. We have a vacation rental in Costa Rica.
Oh, wow.
And except for that vacation rental, everything else is long-term, annual tenants. So pretty straightforward business. They are condos or single family homes. We do have one duplex, but it's pretty much these, properties that you buy one at a time. That's what we did because, again, my thinking wasn't that I was going to go out there and all of a sudden do wholesaling and flipping and syndication and, all of this real estate business. It was really to create a scalable, semi-passive income next to, his corporate job, to my business, so that we could have something. And we both enjoy looking at properties. We both enjoy running the numbers. So it was, a hobby that pays well. So it's good.
That is really awesome. No, so do you foresee yourself from this point going forward with your husband, like expanding upon that portfolio, or are you guys like set going forward?
No, we're pretty set right now. I think if anything, we would possibly, if we did ever sell stuff, it would be to roll into maybe just a larger, higher end property. And we've done some private lending. We've participated in some syndications, not as the general partner or the manager, but just as an investor. And so I think that if we were ever to do more in real estate, it would be that way, because what helped us in the beginning, and the reason why we went after these onesie, twosie properties, is because we were able to get leverage. So we were able to grow faster than our income, our individual incomes could carry us. That was the whole point of it. But now we're at that stage where we're past the accumulation stage. And so it's about risk management and, just minding what we have. Yeah. So, we're older now, our kids are through college, a different life stage. And so different priorities.
Yeah, definitely. So, no, I guess, really, like you said, different priorities and kind of that determines like sort of your investment style going forward, right?
Yeah, so, absolutely. Whether you do leverage or not, how quickly you buy, etc.
Yeah. Now, would you say so? Like, how far away is sort of the a lot of people say financial freedom, and say like you're free, you're pretty much free to do what you want to do with I guess that's the definition of financial freedom. Like, so for you, how far away do you feel that is, or is that right now?
Yeah, we're there, and real estate was a big part of getting us there. That was nice. It was a big part of being able to use leverage and to buy properties more quickly than, again, our just cash flow income could carry us. I think we were helped a lot by the fact that we got into it after the crash of 2008 and 9. And so we started buying in 2012, 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
So that definitely helped us. I don't think we could have used the same. Well, I mean, we might have been able to use the same strategies now. The numbers would pencil out differently. But so you can get started really in any market. But for us, it was financial freedom for sure, because I was exhausted by my business. I love my business, but it is professional services, and the things that I enjoy are trading time for money. I like to be, the advisor and doing that. And so there's just no way really to scale that. And so real estate enabled me to have income coming in so that I could only work on the things that I wanted to work on. I didn't have to feel like I had to bill out all my hours, because I don't now. And I didn't have to take on projects that paid better because I needed that money. So that's what financial freedom is for us.
That's awesome. So pretty much, I guess now and going forward is lifestyle. Lifestyle is sort of the choice, the primary objective versus anything else. That basically helps you determine what your other decisions are, right?
Yeah, I would say that it's lifestyle. I would also say it's generational wealth. We do have 2 children, and they're entering into an uncertain economy and a volatile job market. And God bless them, they are very kind and caring kids who majored in social work and history, and they're interested in kind of these noble professions, but these are professions that don't pay very well, certainly to start. I mean, that's just great. That's just the way that it is. It's different. My husband and I, he was computer science, I was economics. So I was in HR, which is not by any means a high paying field, but it was the business field at least. And correct. So I do think that that's a big part of our calculation right now is we make investment decisions with a very long-term horizon, because it's not just, well, what's our, life expectancy? It's their life expectancy and potentially their kids' life expectancy. So we are looking at building the generational wealth, and with real estate can go either way. I mean, neither of the kids seem particularly interested in real estate. So I actually don't know that we're going to keep our properties for that reason, right? If they don't, it's not the best thing to pass on in that way, because you do have to have someone who's interested in at least managing the property managers.
Yeah, or at least okay with managing the property or something to do with it. Yeah. I have, definitely.
It's not a paper portfolio, where you can just be on Fidelity and click, click, click. It's different.
Exactly. It's totally hands-on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So do you guys currently at least for the 6, or you said 9 total, right? So of the 8, besides the vacation rental, so do you guys still manage yourself, or you have somebody?
No. We always had a property manager, because the idea was always that this was going to be as hands-off as possible. And if you pay for that privilege, of course, it's a 10% fee. Yeah. But at the same time, it's that was the whole point of it, of taking on that risk, taking on that leverage, doing all the the scouting and running the numbers and stuff, was because we had other jobs and we had other things to do. And the idea is that it's additional income stream, not primary income stream.
That's right. That's awesome. Wow, that's great. I mean, it's great that you guys got into ultimately really, got into the business and that real estate piece really, I guess, along with your other, with your W-2 or with your primary job, kind of boosted you to the position that you guys are in now. So that's really awesome. So now, would you, from all of your experience, along with your husband's experience in acquisition, with all these individual rentals and the vacation rental, for someone who's who's trying to maybe just starting out to build their real estate portfolio, what would be your advice to someone who's a beginner, trying to get into the business?
Look, so I would say start from where you are. Take an inventory of what your priorities and your skills and your efforts are. What are you willing to do? If you are someone who has, let's say, very strong W-2 income, you have a steady job, you are able to save some money. We were good savers in that way. That was our superpower. And so we were able to put money down, run the numbers. I was an econ major. I was good with the calculator, right? So I wasn't going to be fooled into some subprime mortgage or some terrible deal, right? So that was what our contribution was. But my husband and I are not handy. We are not designers. We are not anything like that. And so we stayed away from projects that needed a lot of work. We stayed away from fix and flow. We didn't even consider those kinds of things. Wholesaling would be too active for us. So, if you're just starting out, you just have to be real about where you are. If you are handy, then that might be something for you to consider. If you are, currently unemployed or working, maybe underemployed, and you have extra time and not the money, then maybe you do the legwork and you partner with someone who has money. I know people who have done that. Yes. So I think it really depends. And you actually might even have family members. I never wanted to mix family and finance, but
Yes. Yeah.
these are people who already know you and trust you. And maybe you have, let's say, an older family member who doesn't want to just get 4% in a high yield savings account. And maybe
Right.
you can offer them 7% because a mortgage would be almost that much anyway. And
Yes.
then you both win something. So it really depends on what you have around you. And so I would just pay attention to that and just be very self-aware and self-honest and start from where you are.
That's great. That's really timeless. Like that's really valuable advice. Thank you. That's awesome. I hope that some of the younger listeners that's just beginning their career in real estate or just trying to build their portfolio in real estate, that they can take that and apply it to where they are. So with that said, like what is one book that you would highly recommend for that's real estate related, that you would highly recommend for audience today?
Yeah, that's real estate related. I very much enjoy Gary Keller and Jay Papasan books. One of them's the One Thing.
Oh yeah.
And so the One Thing is more just business and productivity overall, but they both
Yeah.
have real estate backgrounds. And so as I recall, because I've read multiple of their books, so they always have, real estate stories. There's definitely that tie in there. And so I would encourage people to read that one for sure. And I do think that books are really helpful to give you a sense of community. For myself, it wasn't so much that I took the advice from the book like straight away and and ran with it, but it was more, it opened up possibilities for me. We opened this call with me saying, I was so stuck and I felt like I just wasn't sure like which way to go. And it was so helpful to read lots of different real estate books because I thought so many of these people, I mean, how many of them really are smarter than me, right? Like, am I really the only one, right? So it just became one of these things where it's like, oh, so many people with different backgrounds, with different experiences, they're making a go of it, surely, right?
Yes.
Like it could be for you and I. So
yes.
that's what it was. I was like, oh, okay, it's possible. Let's go.
That's right. That's right. And actually, I personally, I kind of wanted to ask you, like, how did you? I've read that book as well, but like, how did you learn of that book or learn of the Gary Keller's system?
I love business and professional development books. I mean, that is my line of work is executive coaching. So I do hear about a lot of these different books. And I actually think it was a podcast interview with Jay Papasan where he was talking about the run up to the books. And I was like, oh, that sounds, kind of interesting. And certainly the thesis, the idea of what's the one thing. I mean, aren't we all trying to find that? And so that's a great structure for a book. And so I wanted to read it and I remember enjoying it very, very much. That's my book recommendation.
God, awesome. Thank you so much, Caroline. Well, that brings us to the end of our session today. But I really, really appreciate you sharing your how you got to where you are today from just being at a W-2 position, right? And growing your portfolio to the point that you are financially free now, right? So and to the point that you created also legacy wealth for you and your family. And so, awesome job. I mean, that's not a lot of people, I think, especially nowadays, can say that. And so, thank you for your time and sharing, and your book recommendation. So with that said, thank you again for your time, and we'll probably chat very soon.
Okay,
Thank you,
great. Thanks,
Caroline.
John.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Astute Prosperity Podcast. Want to be featured on the show? Head over to astuteprosperitypodcast.com/guest and apply to share your success story with our listeners.